Right, back on this, trying to iron out its final faults. I'll just give you a couple of things out of the way. A bit cramped here. I might have to replace this CPU socket at some point. We'll talk about that. That's nothing to worry about, that's just my cables falling off. Shitty cables. The middle's come out one of my little things. Right. See this real spin thing? This is just, I think this is just the pin header. It's needing redone. Yeah. Right, so the rails is just a pin header. I think I've got a cracked joint button pin header. What I'm trying to figure out is this. See how the lamp and LED sinks are randomly going on and off. I'm looking at that here, and nine. See that there? Hard to see, but if you look at the logic probe, see how it's flashing. Turn this off. Go back on it. Pin 11. Let's check everything else. 2, 3. I think. I don't think this chip here, this 514, I don't think that chip there is being driven correctly. That's the LED and lamp sync latch. Well, what that does is it takes all your lamp select lines, 16 of them, and it takes one of 16 LED digit lines, and the CPU tells it what to light and when. But it seems to be blanking on digit 1, which means it probably row or column 1 or whatever on the lamps will be flashing on and off as well, which would not be good. Now, let's set this here. Get to the right page. There's the sync data latch there. This line's here. This is working properly here. This is good. It was hard to see, but pin 3, you hear? Line PS1, pin 3 going to U38. I think it's 38. Yeah, 38. It's intermittent. It's not a broken trace, I've checked that, but it's intermittent. That's one of the address lines controlling which one of these 16 outputs gets driven. This is basically a 4 of 16 decoder. They call it a sync data latch, but it's a 4 of 16 decoder. Back here. It's coming from here. This line's here. This is here. I think this is a offending bit here, PS1. It's coming from pin 10 of here. I think this U9's flaky. It could be back feeding off this 157 here, but I think this U9's flaky. So we're going to change that out. So it's still the same. The reels are still doing everything twice, and display is still flickering. I have changed U9, made no difference. I changed the driver chip up there, which is 36, made no difference. Bit of a head scratcher, but I have noticed that the LED displays and the reels, they have something in common. So I'll show you what I mean. Let it focus. You got U34 and U3 there. I've changed this U3 to rule it out. There wasn't anything wrong with the chip select anyway, I don't think, but I've changed it to rule it out. But we get U34 here. And that's a chip that I cut and rejoined the leg on. And that goes to the output enable of the RAM now. I've only got one LED display going off. It's actually digit 1. Remember, as I said a while back, the digits are back to front and that, just the way I wired them up. Too lazy to change them back over. So, output enable the RAM's control here, but that same U34 is here on the real motor enable. Now the reels are doing everything twice. I'm wondering if they're just being cut out before they're meant to. Well, or something about Flaky that's affecting this. I'm wondering if this is affecting the reels and causing a problem here and affecting what goes into this memory. Because it's just weird to me that I've got a reel and a LED fault at the same time. And the common thing between them is U34. So I'll go find a, what's that? I'll go find a 74HCO2 and we'll replace this U34 and see what happens. Fixed. Now this is one for the textbooks, this is. I've been working on this board all day managed to resolve both faults, real and LED, at the same time. Except the fault was nothing to do with the LED sinks. It was nothing to do with the real drive. It was down here. It was a fault in the lamp selects. I mean, how is that possible? It's not even in the same circuit. What I think was happening was I was getting the partially shorted chip down here. It's another one that I'd cut a pin on. So maybe I caused the short. But I think what's happening is I was getting noise and interference from the 5V line. And it was affecting everything else on the board, and it was enough to cause an issue with the LEDs misselecting and cause it to misread the serial data coming back for the reels. I'll tell you something else as well. That mild reel fault has cleared up as well on reel 4. There's nothing wrong with that reel. It was another symptom of this. I mean, that's absolutely bloody bizarre. I have changed all sorts of parts today looking for this fault, and it just goes to show you sometimes something else completely different on the board can be causing an issue. And well, I'll show you I'll show you how bizarre this is. I mean, this was crazy, but it's working. I'll turn it off now, it's getting late at night. Right.
Had to slide a wrench on the end of it.
This is what they call the sync data latches. This is where all the information for the lamp drive, and the digit drive for the LED displays comes from. And what I was seeing is I was seeing flaky signals on the 2 pins that correspond to the first and second digits. And I was seeing similar, if I go to here, I was seeing similar flakiness around here. For those who don't know, the sync side of the digit side of the LEDs are driven by the lamp sync transistors. It's a crafty thing that JPM and quite a few other manufacturers do. They tie the sync for the LEDs into the lamp syncs as well. I suppose it saves space, but so seeing flaky signals there, and I was seeing flaky signals here. So I'll replace this, I'll replace that to rule that out. This didn't look quite right here, so this got replaced. That U9 there got replaced. Made no difference at all. In fact, nothing I did made any difference. I mean, U34, yeah, it is in the real circuit and lamp circuit at the same time, but it made no difference whatsoever. So, studying this closely, I couldn't see anything in any other part of the circuit that could be turning that digit on and off. But I did notice that I had cut pins on U12 here, which is in the lamp source circuit. It's totally different circuit whatsoever. So I'll replace this, and then everything else cleared up, and the rails are working and the LEDs are working. Even though it's nothing to do with the sync side or the real drive, replace this and the board wakes up and starts working. I think what was happening was, because some of the pins were cut on this, I believe the ground pin and one other pin, they were rejoined, but they couldn't be making a good contact. I think this was generating noise on its power rails. And as you know, a System 5 board is like a big serial network for most of its auxiliary stuff like rails, payout, whatever. So I think noise here was not only causing flakiness down here, but I think it was also affecting the rail drive as well. I thought it was. Thanks to Richie100 for uploading the schematics, by the way. Top man. I've had these a while, but I've never been on YouTube long enough to. The only place I could see the rail drive being a problem was down here. And I've replaced this as well, and I've been all over this circuit. I buzzed it all out, everything was perfect, but yet again, I was seeing flaky signals on the output side of the chip, and it made me think it was bad. I mean, just the same with the lamp circuit. You see flaky signals in the output, but the input signals are fine, you think it's bad. You see flaky signals down here and the outputs are fine. When inputs are fine, you think it's bad. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're working based on what you see. The only way I would have probably found that out quicker was if I had an oscilloscope tied to the power rails, which I might do at some point in the future just to see how much noise one of these things does generate. I think as preventive maintenance, I'm going to recap it as well. I'm going to change any electrolytic capacitors that are on this board, because yeah, that was strange. That was absolutely crazy. Sorry, a wee bit too close here and on. That's better. That was absolutely crazy. A fault on a totally different circuit that has no connection to the lamp sinks at all. Has no connection to the rails, causing both issues.
Alright. It's time to clean up. All the wires are out.
Replace it, and it's working.
Tomorrow I'll take the head to the machine.
So anyway, those boards can be packed and shipped now. I might actually revisit the non-Yamaha one I'm working on before, because it has the real force misbehaving on it, and this board shows me that. I wonder if I've got a similar issue on the other board. Both boards have shorted parts, so I wonder if I need to replace the lamp source drivers on the other board as well. But yeah, that was nuts. I've rambled on long enough about it, but it's just, I just wanted to bring it up, because if you go by what you see in front of you and you go by what your test gear shows you, and it was showing me parts were bad that weren't. Maybe I need to buy a chip tester or something. I don't know. But anyways, that's another one done and dusted. So, bye bye for now.